So yeah, so we have that. So we have a lot of people that you remember Charlie Kirk.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're going to bring this back up because this is kind of vitally important, because even people close to me and my family, my wife's family, things like that, are pretty, I don't know, either uneducated, uninformed, or just naive to the whole situation and what he was really like.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't go as far as saying, "Oh, I'm glad he was killed. I'm glad he's dead," and all that, because that's just that you need to be in a mental hospital at that point, to be honest with you. But they're not that. But they, oh, he was such a racist. He was such a rude person. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so when that happened, what a shame. I mean, I would hate to have that happen to Hassan Piker or to anybody else on the left, Joe Biden, Barack Hussein Obama, anybody like that. I would not want a Charlie Kirk thing to happen to those people. It's just, what kind of an animal would I be to think that? And I don't.
Yeah. Terrible.
So you have a lot of people on the left who hated Charlie Kirk. They thought he was, divisive and this, that, and the other. So this is interesting because this guy kind of says it like it is. Like, this is why I hate Charlie Kirk. So you kind of get a perspective from him of why, because I think you need to know what is going through the little hamster, wheel going on in their little heads to see what's going on. So listen to this, because this is interesting. It kind of gives you a new perspective on things, and like, oh, that's what they think. That's how they think, why they're thinking this and all that.
This dude right here is going viral for his Charlie Kirk story, and it's going to be the most shocking thing you hear all day.
You're probably glad that Charlie Kirk was, but this is classic, and I think everybody needs to see it. So that's why we're playing it right now.
Yeah, this is everybody needs to see this.
Yeah, and it needs to be pounded home. I've seen this several times, and every single time I see it, I'm like, wow, yeah. You need to get this out more and more. So yeah, let's listen to this guy. I'm going to play it all the way through. We won't comment until the end. But you got to listen to it if you haven't heard it. If you have heard it, listen to this again. Like, subscribe, share. It's real fast below. We try to put stuff like this out there that a lot of people aren't seeing, and we hope you can. So we're going to get this here for you. Listen to this whole thing.
You hear all day.
I'm actually glad that Charlie Kirk was murdered, but probably not for the reason you think. I was at work when I first found out. A fellow employee had wandered up to me, cell phone in hand, and asked, "Did you hear that Charlie Kirk just got assassinated?" And I, without even a moment's hesitation, responded, "Good! F that Nazi white supremacist piece of shit!" I had never before witnessed such a perfectly blended expression of disgust, disappointment, sadness, and surprise, all through the window of another man's eyes, or experienced a silence so uncomfortable as the one that followed. And although that look on his face now haunts me more and more with each passing day, at the time, it only made me distrustful and upset. But little did I know that the sentence which followed would end up becoming the most profoundly psychologically impactful question that I've ever been confronted with. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I decided to end the conversation immediately. This man was clearly a lost cause, one of those intellectually dishonest Kool-Aid drinking types who refuses to engage in good faith with any perspective which contradicts their outstandingly narrow and propagandized worldview. And by this man, I mean me. Because I hadn't actually watched any of his debates. I was basing literally every single thing I believe about a human being with thousands of hours worth of publicly available recordings of himself openly expressing his opinions on a small handful of out-of-context clips that had been curated for me by algorithms and media organizations being funded by the political opposition. I foamed at the mouth, right along with the rest of those rabid and bloodthirsty dogs, gleefully mocking those who had been saddened by his death and downplaying the atrocity of it all by suggesting that political violence is just an unfortunate yet necessary step toward our coveted socialist revolution. That is, until I began to notice a common thread. The exact same comment being repeated ad nauseum in nearly every single online space. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I didn't think much of it at first. Of course, right-wingers are all regurgitating the exact same talking point. They're in a cult. They're brainwashed. It was an ordinary and boring morning on the day I found out that I am a monster. In that moment where my curiosity got the best of me and I decided to click on some random YouTube thumbnail of Charlie Kirk with his goofy and gummy smile in an attempt to reaffirm my preconceived biases. And it was an unusually stressful afternoon on that very same day when I spoke to my father for the first time in years, despite the fact that he had always loved and supported me unconditionally. And it was a never-ending sleepless night, coming to terms with the fact that literally every single thing I thought I hated about the right the bigotry, stupidity, violence, vitriol, and narrow-mindedness was actually just an outward projection of hatred toward my own self. Charlie Kirk is my hero. He opened my eyes to the cruel and manipulative nature of our political media, brought my family back together, and taught me how to love again. And to anyone who takes issue or offense with that, I'm going to do exactly what he would have done and challenge you to answer a simple, honest, and straightforward question. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates?
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
I mean, you listen to him and you hear him start tearing up, realizing that he was the monster. He was the one who thought he was everything and knew everything. And that's what a lot of these people on that particular side think. And our media perpetuates this. And we talked about this with the World Cup visitors coming over, how we've been lied to about America. America is not this horrible country that this, that, and the other. People have been nice. People have been friendly. They've been inviting. They invite us to be with them and hang out. When you actually look at it and realize the humanity and the lack of humanity on that side, saying, "Oh, good, he's dead. I'm glad he's dead. More people on the right should be dead." Like that. Oh my God, you people need to be institutionalized or something, because you have such a warped sense of reality and of humanity. You've lost your sense of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell did that go?
Well, like what he said, regurgitating the same talking points without doing your own due diligence is very irresponsible. And I think that keeps happening over and over and over, and validating their form of thinking, which is obviously invalid. But when legacy media is that's all they pump.
Right.
They tell the lies, and then you're going to have people start believing the lies without going and fact check. And it blows.
And that's on both sides. That's just not the left.
It does. Yeah.
It is. The right has the same thing. You've got to look more than just Fox News.
Well, yeah. And
for example.
And it blows my mind that we all have these tiny computers in our hands, right?
Oh, is that what this? I was wondering what the hell this was. All right.
We spend far more time on these damn things than we should, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But the power is in your hand to do your research and to do your due diligence, right in your hand, literally.
Yeah.
And people fail to do it. People won't do it. I think on both sides, people are afraid of what truths they're going to see.
They don't want to be wrong. And that's
and they don't want to confront them.
I don't. You don't want to be. None of us want to be wrong. Yeah.
Right. And just like this kid, he didn't want to confront those truths that he never knew about.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of head in the sand mentality that I think is, it's doing its damage to our society. Yeah. Not only here in America, but everywhere.
But that's why we're doing this podcast. Mm-hmm. And are we more biased one direction? Yes, because you're getting all of the other bias and all the other media, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. You're getting all of that. We want to present the other side more so, and kind of show, hey, you've got to kind of look at both sides of the issue, both sides of the argument. This is why you have a prosecutor and a defender. And if you're a juror, you're listening to him and you're listening to them. Okay. So you're getting both sides and you figure out what is the truth. It lies somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
And we want to try to at least say, okay, well, you're getting all this propaganda. Like this guy. You're getting all this propaganda about how bad everything is. But now you got to listen to the defense attorney. Mm-hmm. Okay. What is he presenting? And have you ever really listened to any of his debates? And not just one, because he could have gotten very frustrated with somebody who is just being very antagonistic towards him. And so he's going to come across defensive, a little more defensive. And so he may come across just how you think he is. Well, listen to some other ones where he's very, very, very patient, more so than I would ever be, with some of these idiots who really want to attack him on things and issues and everything. And he comes back very calmly and very rationally and with facts and disputes what they're talking about. And lots of times when you see somebody who is thinking the other way and he kind of talks to them about it and says, oh, wait a minute, maybe there's something there. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with you, Charlie, but you've made me at least question a couple things that I've been thinking. And that's amazing.
Well, and that's when we can start agreeing to disagree, right? Now it's so are the views, over the past, I guess probably since COVID, it seems like, have been so polarizing,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's torn businesses apart. It's torn families apart. It's just done irreparable damage
Yeah.
to society, and but we've lost that mentality where we can just agree to disagree, right?
Yeah.
And just be okay with that and still be able to crack a beer or have dinner with somebody that we don't agree with.
Right.
Well, no, people don't want to do that anymore. I can't even stand this person. I can't da 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 da. da. I lost a really good friend just recently over the same sort of
Yep.
head in your sand thinking over an issue that we disagreed on. And
Yeah.
we knew we didn't have the same political views, and that's fine. That's always been there, but it
Yeah.
hasn't caused enough tension to not be friends. This was a separate issue, but at the same time, it's still that polarizing. I don't want to hear your thoughts on it because I am right and I am
No matter what
afraid
you
to.
say, you're
Yeah,
wrong.
and
Yeah.
exactly. No matter what you say, and that's because I don't want to. I don't want to face the truth of the
I
matter,
don't want to be wrong.
and I don't want to be wrong.
You're
So
wrong.
instead, this person decided to end our relationship and
Oh,
our
that's
friendship. It wasn't a relationship like
yeah.
or anything like that. It was a friendship, and it was a really good friendship. But
Well,
instead of
apparently it really wasn't.
yeah, that's the sad thing about that is that kind of thinking. It is just it's so polarizing,
Yeah.
and it's I just don't think it's smart.
Right. I mean, but what a shame that maybe this friendship, this relationship was a lie based on nothing for how long?
Well,
Because a true color, a true friend, yeah, you can disagree with and you can still remain friends, even though you might think, oh, you're up in the night. You know nothing what you're talking about, but I love you, man. I still love you. And we're gonna go grab some beer or dinner together or whatever. Let's grab pizza. You can still do that.
well, and
Makes you wonder this guy or girl or whoever it is you're talking about.
it does, because the thing is though too is we never argued about anything unless you challenge this person's point on
Yeah.
anything. It was anything
Yeah.
under the sun.
Wow.
If this
Yeah.
person was proved wrong, or you disagreed with this person, oh my gosh, the heavens would fall. And it took a lot of patience for me to be friends with this person
Yeah.
because of that. Because I'm a question everything person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
It's something that we push really hard on this show, and just telling this story right now. It's not bullshit, people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not just a slogan that we use that we've put on a shirt. By the way, you can get it rudebarn.etsy.com.
Right.
Uh,
Prices include shipping, just so you know. So,
but it's something that we do on a regular basis to learn about people, to learn and educate ourselves.
yeah, because we know we're not always right and we're not always wrong, and we're open for somebody to say, you know what, when you said that, just be respectful. That's the thing. And this is with your friend you're talking about. You can disagree, but you also have to be respectful. Like, you know what? I disagree with what you're thinking, and this is why, and why. But anything you're going to tell me right now, I just don't think you have an argument that's going to change my mind on it. Hey, great, no problem. You think one thing, I think the other. Again, let's go grab a beer, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. If you want to disagree, I have no problem with you disagreeing. And I've had plenty of talks with some friends who we disagree with on things, and we're very respectful. Okay, well, why do you believe what you know? Why are you more conservative or Republican than Democrat and all that stuff and all that conversation? I had a conversation. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your whole thing, but to go along with what you're saying, I had a friend who definitely disagrees with me politically at the gym. We're friends. We've known each other for a long time. We were talking about the whole LGBTQ crap and the Pride Month thing. And we all agreed that, hey, do your thing behind the privacy of your own doors, but stop pushing on this. And our biggest thing was stop pushing it on our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we were done with this conversation, he was like, holy shit, I think we agree on a lot more than we thought. I'm like, yes, we do.
At the core, yeah.
Yes, we do. So that was an amazing conversation, and too bad your friend couldn't have that type of conversation with you.
Yeah, it was really sad.
And it is sad.
You know, and like it's I mean, I've had my eyes open plenty of times through conversations like this with people that I didn't agree with. And just like you said, at the end of the day, you know, when you get down to the core of things, you realize that you do agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not the way to get there, but you know, at the core, you know, I think a lot of us would be surprised at how much we think in common, you know, on whatever side you put your tent up at.
Well, and I think that once we kind of realize, you know, when talking to somebody, and I've had this happen a couple of times where I've like rethought my viewpoint on something. Well, maybe I haven't thought it completely through, or maybe you might be right, or maybe I need to reevaluate what I'm thinking. And that's okay, because sometimes we do get bombarded with one side of an issue, although we try to look at both. We tend to look at stuff we're not getting from the mainstream media side of things. And so sometimes that gets skewed, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you have to go, okay, well, that's an interesting viewpoint that you have I didn't think of, and maybe you have something there, and maybe I'm missing something, some information or whatever, and so you kind of can come to an agreement on the fact that no, not everything is what it seems, and maybe you don't know everything about everything, I don't know everything about everything, which is obviously certainly true with anybody, and that we can kind of say, okay, but I still kind of this, but you still kind of think that, whatever, but maybe there's something there, and we can still be friends and civil and everything, adults about things.
Yeah, adults about things. Yeah,
we're missing that in this world. I hope people get back to that.
It's a rare commodity nowadays. Yeah, and it's
exactly.
Sad. Yeah,
it is sad. Come on, effers, let's stop this bullshit and get along and realize it's okay to have a difference of opinion. You know, and there's a video of this guy. And this is the thing, it's just so freaking stupid. He's some douchebag older guy that lives in DC, and somebody was talking to him about the reflecting pool and some of the statuary and all, and he just thought it was ridiculous that Trump was spending all this money. I think we talked about this on one of our first episodes here, but I'm just reiterating it here. But he was just, it didn't matter. It was the other side, the other viewpoint, the other political agenda, party, whatever you want to call it. And he just had no room to say, you know what? Yeah, I like the fact that the city is beautified. The city is safe now. He brought the National Guard in to get rid of these assholes on the street so we can walk around DC at night without having to worry about being mugged or killed or anything. The reflecting pool looks great. I wish that we could get it, you know, for a little bit less money spent on it or whatever. I mean, and just be reasonable, but no, anything that Trump did was bad, was stupid, was a waste of time and money. He had no sympathy for even allowing Trump to do anything to beautify DC. And what an idiot this guy is.
Yeah.
I mean, what a freaking jerkhole to say that shit. Is like, He's the only president in the recent history that has done anything to try to make DC a better place, which it should be because it's our nation's freaking capital.
Yeah, and it was one of the roughest, rowdiest cities in the country there for a while.
I
really
wasn't
was.
proud to say I want to go to DC.
Yeah.
Now I kind of like to, and and I will. But
yeah, I went to DC in the freaking early 2000s, and it was a little scary then.
Yeah, well, it always has been for a long time. And it's not. So we just hope that people realize that, it's okay. You can have a differing opinion. You can agree to disagree, and we all should be able to get along. But we cannot continue letting our country get taken over by people who want to destroy it. The Mamdanis of the world, these socialist douchebags who've been voted in by people who would allow this by not getting out and voting these people out. And all this shit. And I just hope that, as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country, that we have a country to give to our kids and grandkids where they can be proud to be from here, no matter who's in power, and that we have a safe place for them to grow up. And we continue with this country that the Europeans and other people from around the world who've come here for the World Cup have seen that it's completely different and unbelievably much better than they thought it was, and they don't want to leave. They don't want to go back to where they're from because they love everything. Well, can we take what's great here and put it in your country so your country could be as awesome as ours? Maybe not ever as awesome as ours, but pretty close, maybe. I love visiting other countries and where it's safe and cool things and the history and everything else that goes along with it,
Yeah. And I think that people need to understand to make any sort of change, it's in your hands. Like, you got to make an effort. You got to do something,
Stop allowing people to ruin your country by allowing people who are incompatible with your culture and your ideologies and beliefs to infiltrate into your country. If they're not willing to be French, to be German, to be Swedish, to be whatever, and they just want to bring their world into yours and take over and not let your culture, history, society, everything be what it was and is, and what's so wonderful about visiting that, or used to be. We need to stop that. Get out of my freaking country. Come on, England, I'm talking to you.
Well, that's a thing too. Like, I might go somewhere that's absolutely beautiful. Italy, Switzerland, the Alps, stuff like that. It might be absolutely beautiful. But I don't want to be Swiss. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Italian. So I'm not going to force them to accept me to stay if I'm not willing to assimilate to their culture. You know what I mean? In their country. I'm not going to, I think that's very garish.
Well, yeah. And very egocentric and egotistical of you to do that as well. Well, it's like, okay, so we went to Italy on a cruise, and so we hit several places, Florence and Rome and whatnot, Naples and all that, Napoli. When I go into Italy and we saw this, and I saw this, and I was trying not to be judgy and xenophobic or whatever, racist about it. But when I walk into the port cities that we dock at, and you get off the ship and you see a lot of North African folks, Middle Eastern folks, all this stuff, I'm not in Italy. In a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this feels very much like I'm not in Italy. Yeah,
Well, and not because they don't want to be Italian or whatever, because they kind of don't. They want to continue to be them. They want to be their country, their area, their region, and just happen to be living in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
When we want to bring people here, it's like you can be from wherever, and you can still have your culture and embrace, your history and everything else. But you also need to, be American, want to be American, want to be part of this society that makes this country great. So why is it that am I wrong for that? Whatever. It's what I thought. And I'm sorry if you don't like it and you think I'm an asshole for it, But when I walk off that ship and we're walking down and I see all these people who are certainly not Italian or certainly not, it doesn't matter whether your skin color is darker or whatever, or lighter or whatever, but you're Italian, it's like you go to England and they've got a lot of black folks over there and things like that, but they're British.
Yeah.
But these people are not Italian. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
and they're not speaking the language, and and it's
I mean, they're on the streets, they're begging, they're this, that. It's like, you are a drain on the city. You would bring no benefit to the country.
What benefit do you bring? Especially if you're not doing anything positive. You know what I mean?
Productive, positive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And try to better
yourself.
We don't
need to bring you here just because you want to be here. Yeah. I said that before. And it's, call me an asshole for it. Call me, racist, xenophobic, whatever. It's not what I'm saying. If you don't understand where I'm coming from on this, then, you need to understand where I'm coming from. Just watch a lot of the other stuff we talk about. But yeah, it's like, assimilate, be a part of it. I don't care if you're black or Chinese or whatever. Are you Italian at that point? Or are you just China here, North Africa in here, wherever in here,
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be a part. You want to be separate, but you want to still take over and live in that area, that country.
And that's kind of the thing. I mean, they have this takeover mentality, or a box themselves in mentality. If I had a thought about this a while ago, and they were talking about the closing the border and all this kind of stuff. I was wondering how long it would take, and shoot your comments down in the comment section. And let me know what you think. But I was wondering how long it would take for them to assimilate their own little militias in these little neighborhoods and parts of town that they take over, and not let anybody else in. And
like that epic city in Texas.
Yeah. And that's
little Somalia in Minnesota.
It's a scary thought, Yeah,
Dearborn, Michigan.
And then creating their own little police force, and
those Muslims are doing that in the little areas that they are in, wherever city it is, whether it's New York, Bronx, whatever, or whether it's in Epic City, or whether it's in Minnesota, or whether LA or Denver, whatever. They think they can run their own police force and be their own world inside of our own country. Is like, no, that's not why you come here.
Yeah, that's not how this works.
It's not how this works. GTFO.
Yeah. Fine. Do it somewhere else. We don't want it.
Go back. Why don't you make your shithole country better?
Yeah.
I would rather our taxpayer dollars go to help make their country better, so they stop coming here and sucking off the welfare teat.
Yeah.
And the freebies. Can we stop giving freebies to people who are here illegally? Maybe.
Well, and then the problem is too, is like when the people that actually need the welfare,
aren't getting it.
It's getting cut.
Yeah.
And they're not getting it because it's been handed out for free to these people that aren't even citizens,
That don't deserve it. I'm sorry, you're not a humanitarian. Oh, really? Yeah. No. I agree, dude. I agree.
And that's a really it's a really backwards, system, if you ask me.
It's destructive.
And it is, and it's just takes and takes and takes and takes and takes from the American people who, are generous enough to give it out, but I didn't vote for that. You know what I mean?
How many friends do you have that you invite over to a party, and everybody brings something, but they never bring something, but they always eat everybody else's shit and drink everybody else's shit?
Yeah.
Or they come over and they have. Yeah, they have like a just a drink or a little bag of chips, or I'm just giving an example, but they never can. How long is it until you say, you know what? I'm going to stop
Stop
inviting Fred over to our house because he never fucking brings anything.
Right.
And he's always eating everybody else's food and everybody else's drinks and, all that. How long is it? This is what these people are in a sense. They are Fred.
Yeah. They're just a bad friend. And that's, it's a good analogy.
Get out of my house, Fred. You're no longer welcome.
Yeah, it's a good analogy because it's like, well, yeah, it's pretty good company, but terrible at upkeep. You know what I mean? No, get out of here.
Yeah. Not inviting you to the next get together. Sorry.
Not coming to my cookout again, bro.
Yeah. All right, gang. Like, subscribe, share. It's fast, free, and easy. What could be better than that? Go to therudebarn.etsy.com. Check out our store. We'll try to throw some more stuff up soon. We have just, we're trying when we can. But there's some cool stuff up there right now that you might love. So check it out. Prices, again, like I said, include shipping. So even though they seem like it's a little bit more, no, your shipping's all taken care of in that price. So you should be good. And check us out on some of our next episodes. We like to shoot these when we can. I've got a bunch to edit we've done before. So some of the stuff may not be as timely and it's later, but you know what? It's still fun. And we like to have fun and talk about it and give our take and try to make light of it a little bit sometimes, laugh our asses off on some other things and have a good time with it. So hopefully share this with your friends. If you like what you see and you want to say, hey, these guys are kind of entertaining and kind of fun, let's check it out. So we appreciate it.
Leave a comment down below. We're never shy away from a conversation.
Yep.
And remember to question everything, gang.
Yeah.
Your mic cut out.
Oh, everything.
No, you gotta cut out. You gotta cut it.
Oh shit. Cut.
No, it's the last word thing. Yeah.
So I have to. Oh, okay, I see how. I'm totally leaving this conversation in on the actual podcast so people can see. We laugh about this because I always have to have the last word, and he's like, "You never let me have the last word." I'm like, "I'm sorry," and then he goes, "Thanks," and I go, "You're welcome," or whatever.
Sure, anytime.
And cut. All right.
Hey.
All right. I'm going to pause this. We're good.